It's no doubt that the cooler southern waters of Victoria and Tasmania have a diverse range of fish species and angling options available for recreational anglers. However, of recent times, it's the state's game fishing that has really been grabbing the headlines throughout the angling community. And with a well-established school and giant bluefin tuna in each state, not to mention great striped marlin fishing on the east coast, along with mako sharks and thresher sharks. And while Tasmania is the place currently for giant swordfish, Victoria has certainly grabbed some of the limelight in the last few months, with East Gippsland being a new and it seems very productive place to find these giant fish. In conjunction with Fisheries Victoria, VR Fish, the Game Fishing Association of Australia and the BIA, this video is going to show you some of the behind the scenes things that go on with tagging and fish management so that we as anglers have a great fishery that will go well into the future. The New South Wales DPI Game Fish Tagging Program is the largest saltwater tagging program of its kind in the world and has been in operation since 1973. It's used to obtain information on the biology and movement of billfish, tunas, sharks and other sports fish, and encourages game fishers to participate in the management of the fishery. Since the program commenced, over 410,000 tag cards have been returned and over 7,000 fish recaptured. The tagging data is used by scientists to study the lives and habits of these fish species. The migratory habit of the tagged fish are observed by measuring the distance and direction travelled between tagging and recapture, and this can be linked with environmental factors. Growth patterns are also monitored. The observations enable scientists to study the structure of fish stocks and assess whether there is any mixing between populations that are geographically distant from one another. This information is vital to improve the understanding and management of valuable game and sports fish species.
Satellite tag is basically a mini computer that we attach to the fish. It then records depth, temperature and light levels. So after a fish is released from a recreational fishing capture, it dives down, all that information is collected on the tag, and after a while it pops off and reports back to my computer, and we can use that information to tell us a lot about the behaviour of that animal and also where it's gone over a period of time. Important information we get from the satellite tags after they're released is what happens to the fish. So recreational fisheries are managed with bag limits, and also people choose to catch and release. So an important component of that, if the fish are going to be released, is that we know that they're actually surviving. The information provided from the tags will tell us basically what's happening after they've swum off. We recently completed a study on southern bluefin tuna using satellite tags, where we found that greater than 80% of the fish being released are surviving. We've also done some work on mako shark, where we found that greater than 90% are surviving after release, and we're now doing some work on the broadbill swordfish. It is worth putting some time into recovering the fish boat side. Even if they're looking rather tired, you can take up to 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for a large fish to recover at boat side before it's releasable. What all this information from these satellite tagging projects is giving us is some really good fact-based information to develop codes of practice for the recreational fisheries, like this one on southern bluefin tuna, so recreational fishers can go out and enhance their responsible fishing practices.
Fisheries Victoria is committed to getting 1 million Victorians fishing. Through the government's Target 1 million policy we've got at the moment, we're introducing a number of initiatives such as increases in fish stocking, better infrastructure, different types of fish, improvements to boat ramps. We want to get Victorians out there fishing. We want 1 million Victorians fishing by 2020. Game fishing in Victoria is a growing priority for Fisheries Victoria. We understand the economic and social benefits of it. We know as part of Target 1 million that people who love getting out there would love the idea of catching a billfish or a large southern bluefin tuna. We're working very closely with rec fishers and making sure that our bag limits are strictly adhered to. We encourage catch and release for a number of game fish species, but we're also happy for people to take a fish because we know they're great food. So we work through very strict science and very strict bag limits and engagement to ensure that the great game fisheries we've got now will be there in 20, 50 years' time. It's been fantastic to see the engagement of recreational fishers in Victoria and the commitment to game fishing, and they've backed that up through supporting funding through research into catch, into reproduction, into the best way to fillet and clean fish, and we've seen that through the use of recreational fishing licence funds. We've seen it through Target 1 Million funds, and all credit to Rec Fishers for getting in there and supporting this fishery in Victoria. In the end, it's about growing regional Victoria and growing small towns in regional Victoria. Mallacoota, Marlow, Portland, we're seeing with sports fishing in Victoria an absolute boom in these towns. Jobs, hotels, restaurants, petrol stations. It's fantastic for regional Victoria, it's great for fishing, and we want to see it continue.